I couldn't get pregnant or give birth after being married for about 7 years. At first, people were patient. They smiled, told us not to worry, they said things like, "It will happen when the time is right." I believed them. Daniel believed them too. My name is Emily Carter, and if you saw my life from the outside, you'd think I had everything. A beautiful home, a successful husband, a respected family name. But there's something you wouldn't see, something that has followed me for 20 years. A secret. One that started with a lie, and ended with a child that was never mine. I met my husband, Daniel Carter, in my late 20s. He was everything I could have asked for, kind, patient, steady in a way that made me feel safe. When we got married, I thought we had the perfect future ahead of us. We talked about children all the time. How many we wanted. What we would name them. What kind of parents we would be. But life doesn't always follow the plans you make in love. The first year passed, then the second. By the third year, people started asking questions. By the fifth, the questions turned into concern. By the seventh, they turned into judgment. The worst of it came from Daniel's mother, Margaret Carter. At first, she hid it well. Little comments here and there. Subtle glances at my empty hands during family gatherings. But over time, she stopped pretending. I remember one dinner so clearly. The table was full, laughter echoing around the room, until she looked straight at me and said, "Some women bring life into a family, others just take up space." Everyone went quiet. My chest tightened, but I forced a smile like I always did. I had mastered that smile, the one that hides pain so well people almost believe it. But Daniel never stayed silent. "Enough, Mom," he said firmly, his voice cutting through the tension. "You don't get to talk to her like that." She scoffed. "I'm telling the truth." "The truth," he replied, "is that she's my wife. And that's all that matters." That night, when we got home, I cried in his arms. Not because of his mother, but because of him. Because he loved me in a way that made me feel undeserving of the pain I was causing him. And that was the problem. I felt like I was failing him. Margaret didn't stop. If anything, she became worse. She started bringing women around, young, beautiful, from wealthy families. Women who could give Daniel what I couldn't. It was humiliating. But every time, Daniel shut it down immediately. "I'm married," he would say coldly. "Stop this." He chose me. Every time. And somehow, that made the guilt even heavier. Because deep down, I knew something he didn't. I was starting to break. One night, I lay awake beside him, staring at the ceiling, listening to the soft rhythm of his breathing. And that's when the thought came. Quiet at first. Then louder. What if I was pregnant? I should have pushed it away. I should have recognized it for what it was, desperation. But instead, I held on to it. The next morning, I told him. "I'm pregnant." I'll never forget his face. The way his eyes lit up, the way his entire body seemed to come alive with joy. He pulled me into his arms so tightly I could barely breathe, laughing, thanking God over and over again. Margaret was shocked. Suspicious, even. But hope has a way of silencing doubt, and she wanted this too badly to question it. And just like that, my lie became real. At least, to everyone else. The first few weeks were the hardest. I kept expecting someone to figure it out, to see through me. But no one did. So I kept going. I started small. A folded piece of fabric under my clothes. Then more as time passed. I studied pregnant women, how they walked, how they held their backs, how they touched their stomachs without even thinking. I bribed a doctor to confirm the pregnancy. Forged reports. Even told Daniel we had to stop being intimate because of complications. Every lie made the next one easier. But it also made the truth heavier. By the 8th month, I could barely breathe, not from a baby, but from fear. I had no plan. No idea how this would end. I had built a perfect illusion with no way out. Then came the 9th month. The day everything changed. That morning, I told Daniel I needed to go out. He refused at first, worried about me, about the baby. But I insisted. I told him the doctor recommended light movement. Eventually, he gave in. The moment I stepped outside, I ran. Not like someone going on an errand, but like someone running from a fire. I went from hospital to hospital, my mind racing, my heart pounding so hard it felt like it might burst. I didn't know what I was looking for. I just knew I couldn't go home empty-handed. And then I saw her. A young woman, maybe in her early 20s, in labor. She was screaming, crying, gripping the bed as nurses surrounded her. Hours later, I heard it, the cry of a newborn. A baby girl. I watched as the nurse carried her away, wrapped in a small blanket, tiny and perfect. And in that moment, something inside me snapped. I wish I could tell you I fought the thought. That I walked away. But I didn't. I followed. I found a mask, a cap, anything to make me look like I belonged there. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely think. Then I walked into the nursery. And I took her. Just like that. I took someone else's child, and I ran. Behind me, I heard the chaos begin. Shouting. Alarms. A mother scream that I still hear in my nightmares. But I didn't stop. I couldn't. I went straight to the hospital where I had connections, where money could fix anything. I bribed the same doctor, forged everything, and laid down on a hospital bed as if I had just given birth. Then I called Daniel. I had the baby, I said. He was there within minutes, along with his mother. Their faces were filled with joy, relief, pride. Margaret held the baby like she had been waiting her entire life for that moment. My granddaughter, she whispered. And I smiled. Because I had given them everything they wanted. At a cost they didn't understand. Years passed. Her name was Lily. And I loved her more than anything in this world. That part was never a lie. Every bedtime story, every hug, every laugh, it was real. She was my daughter in every way that mattered, except one. The truth never left me. It sat quietly in the background, waiting. 20 years later, it finally came back. We were walking past a grocery store, talking about something small, college, I think. I don't even remember. Because then I saw her. The woman from the hospital. Older now. Tired. But I knew her instantly. My blood ran cold. Before I could think, I grabbed Lily's arm and rushed her inside. Mom, what's wrong? She asked, confused. Nothing, I said quickly. I just forgot something. But my hands were shaking. Because after 20 years, the past had found me. And this time, I don't think I can run from it.